All right, if you're learning German, I bet you've run into this little word, sich, right? It pops up everywhere, sometimes when you least expect it. So what's it actually doing in all those sentences? Well, today, we're going to break it all down and get you to master it.
Sound familiar? You're cruising through a German sentence, feeling pretty good about it, and then bam, a wild sich or mich appears out of nowhere. It can feel totally random, I get it, but I promise you, it's not. There's a really clear logic behind it, and that's exactly what we're about to uncover.
Okay, so here's the game plan. First, we'll tackle the mystery of sich head-on. Then we'll look at how it makes an action bounce back. We'll get into verbs that always use it versus those that only sometimes do. We'll even untangle that tricky dative case twist, and to wrap it all up, we'll give you a super simple toolkit so you can get it right every single time.
All right, let's dive right in. First things first, what is the deal with this little word?
So, let's get down to basics. What is this word, and what is its job in a sentence? Okay, the textbook definition is that sich is a reflexive pronoun. But what does that even mean? All that really means is that the person doing the action is also the person the action is happening to.
You know, the best way to picture this is to think of it like a boomerang. The subject, the person doing the verb, throws the action, and whoosh, it comes right back to them. We actually do this in English with words like myself, yourself, himself. The big difference is you're going to see this bouncing back thing happen a lot more in German.
All right, so let's put this bouncing back idea into practice. Let's see what it actually looks like in a real sentence.
Okay, now here's something super important to get this bouncing back thing. Sich isn't the only word for it. It actually changes based on who's doing the action. So if I'm doing it, it's mich. If you're doing it, it's dich. Sich is the one you use for he, she, or it, and also for the formal you, which is sie. This is a perfect example to really see it in action. Look on the left. Ich wasche das Auto. I wash the car. See how the action, washing, goes out to an object, the car. But now look at the right. Ich wasche mich. The action bounces right back. I wash myself. I'm the one doing the washing, and I'm the one getting washed. Simple as that.
And here we go again. It's the exact same logic. Ich ziehe das Kind an. I'm dressing the child. The action is going outward to someone else. But the second you add that reflexive pronoun, ich ziehe mich an. Now I'm getting dressed. I'm dressing myself. The action comes right back to me. You starting to see that pattern now?
Okay, so you're getting the hang of the basic idea. But this is where it gets really interesting, because some verbs are basically attached at the hip to their reflexive pronoun. They're inseparable. And for other verbs, adding sich totally changes what they mean. So some German verbs just don't make sense without being reflexive. They're always reflexive. Take sich freuen, to be happy or pleased. You literally can't just say ich freue. It just hangs there. It sounds totally incomplete. Something's missing, right? You have to say ich freue mich. That feeling of being pleased has to land on someone, and in this case, it's landing back on me.
And this part is so cool. Check out the verb vorstellen. On its own, it means to introduce someone else. Ich stelle meinen Freund vor. I'm introducing my friend. Simple enough. But watch what happens when you add the reflexive pronoun. Ich stelle mich vor. Boom! It completely transforms. Now it means I introduce myself. And get this, it can also mean to imagine. How wild is that? That little word isn't just a tiny piece of grammar, it literally creates a whole new meaning for the verb.
Okay, you ready to level up? Because so far, we've been using words like mich and dich, which are in the accusative case. But sometimes, you're going to see mir or dir pop up instead. And this, my friends, is the dative case twist.
So what's the deal? How do you know when to use which one? When is it accusative and when is it dative?
Okay, here's the secret. It's actually pretty simple. On the left, ich wasche mich. How many things are being acted on? Just one, me. So we use the accusative, mich. But now look at the sentence on the right. Ich wasche mir die Hände. Now we have two objects in play. You have die Hände, that's the thing directly being washed. And then you have me, the person to whom the hands belong. As soon as that second object shows up, the reflexive pronoun switches to the dative case. It becomes mir.
And here's a super easy way to remember this logic. Just ask yourself two questions. Question 1, what am I actually washing? The answer is die Hände, the hands. That's your direct object. Question 2, and who do these hands belong to? Well, they belong to me. And that to me is your clue for the dative case mir. It's the exact same logic for something like ich putze mir die Zähne. I brush my teeth. I'm brushing the teeth for me.
Phew! Okay, we've covered a lot of ground. So let's wrap this all up into a simple, practical toolkit you can use anytime you're stuck.
It really just comes down to a simple 3-step check. Step 1, ask yourself, is the action coming back to the person doing it? Step 2, can you translate it into English using a self word, like I wash myself? If yes, that's a huge clue. And step 3, this is a great little hack. When you look up the verb in the dictionary, does it show sich right there next to it? If it does, you've almost definitely got a reflexive verb on your hands.
All right, so let's do a super quick recap of the key takeaways. First, sich is all about that boomerang effect. The action comes back to the subject. Second, remember that some verbs are always reflexive. You can't separate them. Third, adding sich can be a total game changer and give a verb a brand new meaning. And finally, number 4, if you see another direct object in the sentence, remember to switch your reflexive pronoun to the dative, like mir.
And just like that, you've got it. That little word sich isn't so scary after all, is it? It's actually a really logical and pretty powerful part of how German works. So now that you've got reflexive verbs under your belt, the real question is, what part of German are you going to conquer next?